Yes,
Hello
please.
everyone. I hope you all are doing good. Welcome to this amazing event. And we all know that what I said about doing good is that recent times we have been dealing with very crazy stuff, like especially related to our health. And we know that how important it is to make our, immune system very healthy and to being fit and being active is how important it is. So as we speak about the chapter of fitness, any active lifestyle is incomplete without nutrition. We all know that. And that's the nutrition that fuels their respective goals. And that's where protein comes in. Protein being, the most important one in any active lifestyle, any fitness enthusiast, it is an imperative that we ensure we consume a good amount of protein in our daily lives, from being the helping hand that promotes muscle growth, the main muscle building block is protein, to fueling stronger athletic performance and boosting our metabolism. Protein provides us a variety of benefits. Okay. And fun fact, if you're one of those who get late night cravings, that is your body's way of saying you are running low on protein. So, moving on towards today's agenda, as a part of our Let's Get Active campaign, we have with us our panel of experts, Pooja Makhija and Mihira Khopkar, to shine some light on the topic. The more active you are, the more protein you need. So, moving forward, let me introduce myself first. Myself, Abhishek Joshi, and I am a certified nutritionist and a fitness trainer. I am ranked among top 10 in India 2020, an online fitness trainer. I have been doing this fitness lifestyle from past 9 years now, 9 years straight. I know how it feels to get more protein in your body because since childhood I have been an obese kid, an obese. I have when I started this journey, this fitness journey, I was approximately 110 kgs. This 9 years back, I started this fitness journey, and currently I have like trained more than 500 people globally. So yeah, continuing forward, let's meet our nutrition experts. First up, we have Pooja Makhija, the none other than Pooja Makhija. She is a nutritionist to stars like Deepika Padukone, Karan Johar, Ranbir Kapoor, and Shahid Kapoor. She is functional and lifestyle practitioner. Pooja Makhija has to date transformed the bodies, the lives of thousands of people. She's an inspiration to many fitness enthusiasts and professionals like myself. Her best selling book, released in 2012, Eat Delete, has been translated into many languages like Hindi, Bengali, Gujarati, and Marathi. In 2017, she launched her second book, Eat Delete Junior, a parental read on child nutrition, and recently launched N for Nourish, India's first children's book aimed at teaching kids about nutrition. She also had her own TV show, The Pooja Makhija Show, on the Food channel, her own radio show on Magic FM, and has a regular column in the Times of India. Pooja is also an entrepreneur. She has her own online portal, Nourish Ginny, and her own line of healthy snacks, Nourishables. So most importantly, Pooja is a mother of two adorable girls, her most important role to date. We have Pooja will be joined by the talented Mihira Khopkar. Mihira has completed her BSc in dietetics and MSc in sports nutrition, and she's also a certified diabetes educator. She has been a national gold medalist in swimming and has trialed for the Commonwealth Games 2020 in synchronized swimming. How cool is that? She is the lead sports nutritionist at Sir H.N. Reliance Foundation Hospital, through which she has been working with Asian, Commonwealth, and the Olympic athletes. training in the Indian national camp for federations such as Athletics, Federation of India, Weightlifting Federation of India, and many others. She also manages the nutrition of two high performance academies, while Reliance Odisha Athletics HPC Bhubaneswar, as well as Reliance Foundation Young Champs Football Academy Mumbai. She has gathered 8 years of working experience in the field of nutrition, with the past 4.5 years in sports nutrition alone. She is and has been an avid writer on health, sports nutrition, and lifestyle with various magazines, websites, and newspapers. She is actually involved in research concerning sports nutrition, obesity, and metabolic syndrome. To sum up, I would say Mihira persistently aims at creating a positive difference in the lives of people. So, moving forward, protein is one of the most important nutrients required by the body. And I'm sure Pooja ma'am would agree to it and would love to add more on this. So, without wasting any further time, let's kickstart this amazing session. Over to you, Pooja ma'am.
And welcome, Mihira. So good to hear about all the things that you're doing. Well done. Keep it up. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to today's session where we're going to be talking about how to learn how to build simple blocks to build your life full of good health, vitality, better immunity, great skin, great hair, because to reach the mountaintop, we have to start from the bottom. And when we say we have to start from the bottom, we have to start from the basic blocks of life, the basic building ones, which is protein. And which is why today's entire session is going to be commemorating the importance of protein, because sadly, several studies all over the world have shown that the intake of protein, especially in ours, is not as adequate. The latest study done by the ICMR and the IDA in conjunction showed that a good 84 to 85% of Indians are protein malnourished. 93% of us don't even know what are our protein requirements and how to acquire them. We may think that protein is a problem only for vegetarians, but a good 65% of non-vegetarians don't meet their dietary protein needs either. So what is so exquisite in this protein, and why is it that we are not able to meet our needs? And how is it that we're going to bridge this gap of importance, and how to inculcate this protein into our day-to-day lives is what this session is all about. So welcome everyone to this fabulous initiative taken by Fast Enough. We really need to understand where our health is going wrong. It has taken us a pandemic to realize the value of good inherent health and immunity. It has been clearly proven all those who have strong inherent immunity are being able to fight the virus bravely without burdening the medical system. So long story short, the rat race of just looking fit is no longer the need of the hour. I don't need to just fit into that little black dress or fit into my old sari blouse to go for a wedding. I'm no longer looking to just look fit. Today's need of the hour is to get fit. And we are trying our level best as professionals in this field to spread the word that nutrition doesn't come from one superfood or one magic pill or one nutrient. It starts from the root basics of getting your body a balanced plate in terms of its macro as well as its micronutrients. The three macronutrients being carbs, proteins, fats, micronutrients being your vitamins and minerals. You learn how to pack this fist and we can punch every health illness and every virus in the world out of our bodies. Proteins being the most crucial ones. And since we have seen that Indians are lacking in their dietary intake of protein because of massive protein paucity. Okay, when we talk about paucity, we're not talking about that it's not available to us, but the knowledge of the importance and how to inculcate and what quantities to inculcate it in is not there. There is a great protein pinch where the amount of protein our country is consuming versus the rest of the world is minuscule. There are so many protein myths. For example, most parents in a study done by the IDA found that most parents thought that proteins are only required for bodybuilders. We don't require protein if you're not building muscle, or then protein makes you gain weight. So there were so many misnomers because of which mothers are not being able to inculcate the amount of protein into the family's diet. A lot of initiatives have been taken by the smaller NGOs as well as our government to reinstate the importance. And this is one such initiative, because if we do not have the basic foundations of good health, from where is it that everyone wants glowing skin, fabulous hair, fabulous nails? Aesthetic beauty only comes once your inherent health has been conquered. And proteins is one such important criteria. Your body's immune cells, you could think of your immune cells as soldiers. Okay, so if you're a country which has a strong fort, you require good soldiers to protect your fort. And your soldiers are made up of your protein. So if you're not going to have enough dietary protein, from where will you get the immune cells, the T cells, the B cells, the memory cells, the antibodies to be able to fight the disease? Proteins make up your WBCs, proteins make up almost everything in our body. And the lack of protein delays everything. The increased rates of fractures, the increased period of recovery. So if you see patients who are not focused on their protein intake, any surgery, whether it is a surgery because of an accident or surgery because of an illness, any surgery is the prolonged period of recovery is because of lesser proteins. Proteins are very important for wear and tear, repair, and all of that is attributed to your dietary protein. However, sadly, the focus is never there. The idea here is to bring into the homes that proteins have to be a good part of all your 3 main meals. Most of us consume proteins in perhaps one meal of ours. वो भी कभी कभी वो भी भूल जाते हैं, दाल नहीं बनी, हमने सिर्फ सब्जी रोटी खा ली, हमने सिर्फ फ्रैंकी खा ली, but dal or any other dietary source of protein has to be part and parcel of our lives in 3 main meals. Your breakfast, lunch, and dinner all should have some amount of protein. Proteins, of course, are found in the groups, food groups, and I'll just quickly narrate them to you. Of course, your pulses and legumes are the richest source for a vegetarian meal because of the amount of protein they have. Your nuts and seeds are the other one. Milk and dairy is a smaller segment. Non-vegetarians can get it from your chicken, fish, from your eggs. So there are a lot of protein sources. Even if you're vegan, there are a lot of protein sources. And for those who aren't able to ingest so much dals or ingest so much protein, availability of plant protein powders are also available that makes incorporation of proteins into your diet easy and accessible. We require anywhere between 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kg body weight, even for children, is the latest ICMR recommendation for Indians. We sometimes are not able to meet these needs through dietary protein. Therefore, using natural plant-based pea protein sources such as Fasten Up, the chocolate flavor is, by the way, my favorite. My husband likes the mango though, but is such an easy way to incorporate it. My daughter is trying to make an ice cream with it. I'm very soon going to post a recipe of how you can make an ice cream with a protein powder. Yes, that's the secret. The chef behind this chef is my daughter, who experiments largely in the kitchen. There are such easy ways to bring in this protein, because we need to realize the value and importance on a first initial basis. एक बार हमें उसकी importance पता होगी तो automatically ऐसे नहीं तो ऐसे हम उसको incorporate कर ही लेंगे. That is what is the essence of this seminar, is to spread the word on the importance of it in your day-to-day diet. accessibility through diet, accessibility to nutritional supplements, because everything, including your sugar cravings, as Abhishek said, if you're craving food in the night, is a sign of a protein malnutrition. Sugar cravings are a clear significance of protein malnutrition. 98% of the times when your body is nutritionally malnourished in protein, you will manifest sugar cravings, which is why we see PMS sugar cravings. We see all of these cravings that hit us only because our dietary intake of protein is very, very low. You will have heard so many people say, oh, I need something meeta after my meal. But if your meal was protein rich, you don't need anything meeta. You're sweet enough. You just need better quality protein in your diet. So whether you're looking at greater hair and skin, whether you're looking at taller children, whether you're looking at, of course, firmer bodies, increased muscle mass, boosted metabolism, ease of weight loss, every answer comes back to protein. Forget your physical health, your mental health also depends vastly and largely on how balanced your meal plan is. If your meal plan is not balanced and is skewing towards one macronutrient versus the other, it not only affects us physically, it not only affects us emotionally, it affects us mentally as well. A lot of chronic mental ailments stem from your gut. Always remember, your gut is your internal pharmacy. Your gut makes 90% of your happiness hormone. So anxiety, depression, all mind related ailments, even memory, is so largely dependent on your gut and is so largely dependent on your protein intake. There are so many people who say, oh my God, I'm losing my memory and nothing, I can't remember much. I need the phone to give me reminders for everything. मैं 7 बादाम खा लेती हूँ, उससे मेरी मेमोरी बहुत अच्छी हो जाएगी. वो 7 बादाम आपको जो प्रोटीन दे रहे हैं, वो प्रोटीन आपकी मेमोरी बढ़ा रहे हैं. So just not only the seeds, but also see other nutrient sources or supplement your meal plan with a plant-based protein that can aid you to improve every arena of your health, whether it is, no, forget health, it also affects your moods. It also changes the kind of person you are. You know how often you may have don't talk to her please, uske to naak pe gussa baitha rehta hai, wo to har cheez pe chid jati hai. That clearly shows a sign of a person whose stomach is not fed with proper nutrition. So with good nutrition, with balanced eating, you can change not only the way you look, the way you feel, but also the way you behave, your personality, how much people will love you, how amiable you are with people, how well you get along, how hangry you get, which is induced by hunger. Everything can change if you learn the art of eating right. And that's the main aim that we are here trying to reignite to you, is to how to include proteins as a key essential ingredient in all your meals to help build that parameter of good health and vitality, to be able to fight diseases without burdening our medical system. Protein malnutrition, if I read a last study, it showed all those people who had adequate protein intake were able to recover twice as fast as those whose protein intake was lesser even during COVID. So all of these nutrient absorptions, even your vitamin absorption, even your hemoglobin levels, globin is part of your protein need. Whether it is your vitamin D absorption, whether it is your minor vitamins and minerals like magnesium and zinc, you don't have enough protein. These little soldiers can't do much to your body because everything requires a balance and sync in this body. So proteins, of course, are something that I hope that's something that you're going to take away from this seminar, is that we need to form small ideas to inculcate good protein needs, not only for growing children, for adults, even for the elders. It's not that if they have to go to a gym to require protein. Your physical activity levels, your energy levels, your recovery from disease, your abstinence from health problems and metabolic syndromes all depends on good healthy diet and adequate protein intake. With that, I think I should pause and give Mihira a chance to take this further, and then I'll be able to help you with your queries and questions once you're ready with them.
Yes, Meera, you can speak.
Great. Thank you so much, Pooja, and good evening, everybody. Pooja's already set up the stage in terms of how much protein is important, and especially during the pandemic times, it's taken us a pandemic to realize how important our health is. And, this is where I think we've started actually believing in this age-old quote of how health is the literal wealth. And many people today, I believe, have stopped running behind huge materialistic goals, but have come back to health and are working on themselves to get better for themselves and their family members. So without much ado, I'm slightly going to shift this presentation in how significant is in terms of a very athletic or a sports nutrition setup, because I am a sports nutritionist, and I will take you through a few sections on how significant protein is when you talk about, let's say, improving recovery, body composition analysis, or even why are there so many differentiation responses with protein in terms of how much to take when. Do we take this as a generic recommendation that everybody needs the 0.8 or 1 gram per kg body weight per day, as otherwise you would want are all of us as sedentary or slightly physically active kind of population groups and things like that. So I think protein is one of the most dynamic nutrients there is. There's constant data emerging about its different responses, and we as practitioners constantly have to tweak our recommendations and suggestions. But the one thing that continues to dominate is that protein continues to be the most important macronutrient that sometimes many people don't land up consuming enough, or sometimes some people also land up consuming too much of it, and what sometimes some people don't land up digesting it, as Pooja said, because gut is one of the most important factors to take care of when you talk about absorption. So there's so much going about protein, but like I said, protein continues to dominate in terms of being one of the most important ones around. So this is just a quick outline of what I'm going to talk about, and it's going to start with just having a rationale on how important protein is for athletes and why are requirements for athletes on a higher side vis-a-vis sedentary generic population groups. What are our options when we talk about proteins in general? And I've just highlighted two major impacts of protein considering the time constraint, which speak on body composition modifications and its anabolic response, which I mean, what is the response on muscle protein synthesis, right? And then I'm going to take you a little bit on protein requirements across different sports and how I plan protein requirements across these different sports based on their training calendar. And I'll give you a little glimpse of what we've done so far. And with the Olympics going on, I think it's a perfect end to years of nutrition suggestions and to lead up to an event as big as the Olympics and people performing so well at this stage. And then I'm going to give you my 2 cents at the end. Okay, so we know that there's enough evidence today that tells us that athletes land up training so intensively. So some people land up training twice a day. Some people have 3 sessions in the whole day. Children sometimes have so many different activities to do. Everything depends on how intense your training session is, how long your training session is, what type of training session are you involved in. Are you doing like a strength-based session? Are you doing a speed power-based session? Are you doing an endurance-based session? And all of that influences your protein requirements, because that is the degree of muscle fiber breakdown. Because every time you contract, your muscle fibers break down and then they have to be repaired back post your training session. And that depends on a combination of carbs and protein. But since we're talking about protein in this context, these requirements change based on the degree of stress that your muscles go through based on these different training sessions that you go about doing. So with all of these different options, we know that we have a vegan blend of pea protein, soy protein, brown rice protein, hemp protein. We have, lacto-vegetarian options of whey and casein, which are dairy options. And there's newer interest, and maybe Vijay and Fast Enough may explore a decade from now to include things like insect protein ever in your supplement form for athletes to use in the future. But we have these options available so far to use. And I'm going to quickly touch up on its impact on body composition. So this is a study that was done by one of my friends from King's College London, Oliver Wittard. And if you see below, this tells you the protein requirements gram per kg body weight basis. And this tells you risk of deficiency. So basically, if you're under 0.6 grams per kg body weight per day, as Pooja highlighted, perhaps 80% of us could be in this section. We could be at a higher risk of deficiency. 0.8 seems to be an ideal range to be at to manage your protein requirements on a daily basis. And then you're in an athletic optimal zone between 1.3 to 1.6 grams per kg body weight per day. And so what do you need this protein for? So it's divided into 5 points as mentioned there. So first, you need it for everything, for muscle health, for bone, joints, ligaments. Your entire musculoskeletal system needs your protein to be in place. You need it for amino acids, which are a building block, like we've been saying. You need it for fuel, you need it for recovery. We need it for body composition. So you want to drop fat, you want to gain muscle mass. At the same time, you want to have it for your immune system. So everything for your antibodies need to be high up, and we know that now than ever, considering the pandemic situation. And as well as to ensure that we have all our protein structures in place, we need 1.3 to 1.6 grams per kilograms of your body weight per day. And then if you look at fat loss in general, that is where the requirements now kind of speed up from 2 grams per kg body weight per day, and so on and so forth. And then there's a very interesting study, and I'm going to surprise you with some findings. There's so many different types of protein supplements, protein options available today. And I believe you perhaps will be shocked to look at things like potato on the screen or wheat protein on the screen. But I'm going to surprise you with a finding that I will just mention to you in a second. But now is when we're going to talk about what is the anabolic response of protein supplements. So what does it mean when I say that how much protein should I take which can trigger muscle protein synthesis, right? So there's so much research done on this, and there's still so much confusion on which protein to take, how much to take, when to take, and so on and so forth. One of the main findings of this study landed up saying that for triggering muscle protein synthesis or to build muscle mass, you need the availability of all essential amino acids. So your proteins are made up of amino acids. Out of those amino acids, you have a group called as essential amino acids, which are important especially to trigger more muscle protein synthesis. And these essential amino acids are, especially found in protein options like your whey protein isolates, whey protein concentrates. This is a supplement where you have all 9 essential amino acids readily available to you, which is why when you take a scoop of 25 grams post your training session, all your 9 essential amino acids are available, and it's going to trigger muscle protein synthesis. Now, the second important point to remember is that these essential amino acids, as long as you meet the requirement of those, you will be able to reach your muscle protein synthesis target. If you go below it, you won't be able to trigger that much muscle gains. If you go above it, it's useless as well. So having more protein than you actually is also not going to help accrue more muscle mass. Plus, it all depends, again, coming back to digestion. How much of that protein is actually digested? How much of that is actually absorbed? How much of that is retained? How much actually goes into your skeletal muscles? What is the composition of amino acids? How much of that amino acids are essential amino acids? Which is why we have products like whey, which have all essential amino acids, which trigger that muscle protein synthesis response. To summarize this slide quickly, you need essential amino acids which come from a protein like whey, which can give you those amino acids to trigger muscle protein synthesis. Now, there's this common notion, and it's true when you look at the facts, that plant proteins are not enough, because if you look at here, their digestibility when you look at animal protein is quite on the higher side when you compare it with plant protein options. Their biological value, which is a measure to decide their protein quality, animal proteins are way ahead when you talk about good quality proteins vis-a-vis plant proteins, for example. So we have this notion that, oh, they're not going to have enough essential amino acids, they're not going to have enough protein. Will plant proteins work at all to help me build muscle mass or not? Because everybody's requirements are quite dynamic. There will be individuals who choose to follow a vegan lifestyle. And that is an ethical decision that they make, and you don't have control over, changing that. There will be scenarios where individuals are lactose intolerant and they will not be able to digest certain dairy products, and they would want to look at other options. There will be female athletes, for example, who would want to take in a vegan protein supplement and not a whey protein supplement. And therefore, then what do you do? Like, is there a consensus? Is there a guideline to how much of plant protein should you do so that we'll end up gathering the same effects as whey? Or you should just follow an animal protein based approach? So there's a very nice study again, and they compared animal and plant protein sources. So the first point that they landed up saying was that, for example, you need 25 grams of a whey protein, which has 2.7 grams of leucine. Now, leucine is that amino acid which does most of the job of triggering muscle protein synthesis, right? So 25 grams of whey and 2.7 grams of leucine does the job of increasing your muscle protein synthesis and increasing your muscle mass. So can plant-based items do the same? That was the whole question that this study looked for. And the answer they found was, as long as you meet 2.7 grams of leucine from whatever quantity of that plant source possible, you will still gather the same muscle protein synthesis response. So for example, to put it simply, 37 grams of brown rice equals to 25 grams of whey, for example, or 38 grams of pea protein will equal to 25 grams of whey. 40 grams of soya will equal to 25 grams of whey, and 54 grams of hemp seed protein will equal 25 grams of whey. And they all will give us 2.7 grams of leucine, and that would be enough to trigger your muscle protein synthesis and ensure that you have that muscle mass synthesis happening post your training session. So at the end of the day, you need that little bit of leucine, and you need all your 9 essential amino acids so that your muscle protein synthesis is in place. That brings me to, having such varied protein requirements that these athletes, for example, do with me working over these periods of time with all these different athletes. I've realized that there's no one size that fits all. So when I was working with the boxing guys who are at the Olympics today as well, they focus so much on weight because it's a weight category sport. There are some individuals who are too lean, for example, and all you need to ensure is that whatever muscle mass they accrue, it needs to be efficient enough to give them that strength and speed when they'll end up punching. And therefore, you will have different requirements of protein, such as 1.5 to 2.2 grams per kg body weight per day for group like boxers. At the same time, when you talk about weightlifting, we have our India's pride, Mirabai Chanu, coming in with a silver medal on the very first day. And I've seen her closely when you talk about nutrition in general as such. And the protein demands for weightlifters are also so diverse. Their training loads throughout the whole year are on a very higher side. So if there are trainers around you, you'd understand they lift anywhere between 80 to 95% of your maxes all throughout the year. And that can imagine the kind of load your muscle fibers would have, and recovery becomes so important for these weightlifters. So again, it can vary between 1.6 to 2.2, and to be honest, practically even 3 grams per kg body weight per day. At the same time, so even if you talk about track and field as an event, which is starting tomorrow at the Olympics, so please do tune in. When you talk about track and field in general as such, again, the requirements are very varied. At one end, you have javelin guys who are slightly on the higher side of their body weight, need higher muscle mass. And then you have middle and long distance endurance runners who are quite thin and lean and who need to be extremely light on their weight. Both of these scenarios will have very different protein requirements. So the point I'm trying to highlight with these two slides is that different sports have different requirements. But this slide really explains to you that these protein requirements change not just throughout the training calendars. If you observe, it's not about off season, it's not about competition season, it's not even about what training block you are in. For example, you will train for 4 weeks with an objective of building strength. You'll train for the next 4 weeks with an objective of building power. But it's all about managing your intake on an everyday, daily basis. So your weekly plan needs to be modified. So this is a quick, easy way to understand that you can increase your protein intake as long as you're involved in high intensity training sessions, or if your goal is fat loss, or if you're deficient in protein intake. And you can have lesser amount of protein on that particular day if your focus is on, basic recovery sessions where your energy expenditure is not that much, or when you're resting, when your focus is not to build muscle mass and things like that. So your protein needs in a very athletic or sporting setup change on an everyday basis, not just, there's no generic requirement as such when you talk about it. So everything depends on what training you do, and accordingly your protein requirements are modified. So just to summarize, protein again is an extremely dynamic macronutrient ever. We know that whey continues to be something that stimulates muscle protein synthesis. So Fast Up's whey is a really good option to pop in a scoop post your training session. At the same time, they also have plant protein variations for those who can't digest whey very well, or who prefer vegan protein as an alternative. At the same time, your protein requirements, like I said, are based on your sport, your event, your discipline, your training calendar, and your individualized response. So to quickly summarize, do what works best for you when you talk about how much you need per day. So that's about it. This is a researcher I follow very closely because I love the way he brings science on the table. So be curious, always be skeptical, and be willing to change your opinion in the face of emerging evidence. So I'm trying to quickly tell you that this is what is the evidence for protein at this point. If we meet 5 years down the line, maybe there'll be different findings coming from here. So thank you very much for patiently listening to me. And if there are any questions, I think Pooja and I will be more than happy to answer.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mihira, and thank you so much, Pooja, ma'am. So, yeah, many things I have learned, okay, in this whole session. So, first of all, Pooja, ma'am, the first thing which you said is whey protein is just not for bodybuilders, okay, and so it hit me very hard because it was at the starting when I started my journey. It was very difficult to convince my parents to actually tell them that I need protein. Okay, it is just not important to lift weights. I back then when I started my journey, I was a national lawn tennis player also, and being a sports person, it is required. It is very mandatory to have protein in my diet. It is just not कि मैं एक बॉडी बिल्डिंग के लिए या मैं सिर्फ ऐसा वेट उठा रहा हूँ. सो आई होप वो अभी सुन सकते हैं, बट अब तो वो 9 साल हो गए तो कन्विंस हो गए हैं बहुत अच्छे से. And yeah, the Mihira, EAAs, okay, so the essential amino acids, I hope लोगों को ये चीज समझ आई होगी. And that is why Fasten Up has added, there is a reason that they have added 5.5 grams of BCAAs in whey protein as well. So there is a reason behind it. Okay, so I hope everyone सबको समझ आया होगा. And next, let's have some Q&As. So जिन लोगों को बहुत अच्छे से like समझ आया and बहुत चीजें सीखी, हमारे experts है सामने, so you can ask few questions. Let's find out. लोगों ने लिखा भी है. Yeah. So the first question is, okay, it is to Mihira. So how much whey should an athlete consume? Like 2 scoops are fine, or we should take more according to the requirement?
See, to be honest, it all ends up being based on how much protein do you actually need in the whole day. So, for example, if I'm 50 kilos and I'm an athlete, let's take an arbitrary example. I need 2 grams per kg body weight per day, which means that I need 100 grams of protein in my whole day. Assuming that your foundation is strong, like you already mentioned, you would try and include good quality protein in your diet. The little edge of 25, 30, 40 grams that you can't meet through food is wherein these whey protein supplements can come into picture. So you can land up putting them perhaps post your training session. And the best way to manage it is, if you have 4 meals in the whole day, just divide equal quantities of protein across those 4 meals. So you know that your breakfast has 20 grams, your lunch has 20 grams, then you perhaps go for training. Post your training, you add that scoop of protein with 20-25 grams of protein, and then dinner is where you support the rest of 20-25 grams. If you can't manage it through food with persistent effort, then perhaps you want to up it with 2 scoops of protein. But I would say balance it off with food and supplement.
Yeah, perfect. Absolutely. The second question is to Pooja ma'am. So how to consume enough protein in a day in every meal?
So, as a basic measure, when you look at your plate, the thali or the plate should have at least 1/4 amount in terms of protein. Now, I'm not saying you have to be very literal in terms of quantities, but on an average, if you're going to say that at least a bowl full of dal or one serving, serving sizes vary across different food groups, but one bowl of dal or about 2 pieces of chicken or 2 palm-sized pieces of fish, or say 2 to 3 egg whites, or each meal should have at least one serving of protein. So आपने sprouts ले लिया, दाल ले ली, चना, मूंग, छोले, राजमा, आपने बेसन का चीला बना दिया, आपने ऑमलेट बना के मील को सप्लीमेंट कर दिया. Or another easier way is if you take your sprouts, अपने जो भी घर पे आपको आपकी टमी को जो भी sprouts easily digestible हैं. For some, मूंग is the most easily digestible legume. But moong ho gaya, mat ho gayi. You took that dal, you sprouted it well, you left it air dry, or you dried it in the oven for about a few minutes. Once it is dried, you powder this. So what you have done is you have sprouted the pulse, which aids digestion and makes it easier for your tummy to break down and get the amino acids. And then you kept this protein powder, homemade protein powder. And in case you're not able to give dal at every meal time, you sprinkled a little bit of this in your dahi, or you put it a little bit on your sabzi, or you put it in the atta when you're kneading the dough. Or of course, you can use plant-based protein powders and put that as part of your meal. If you can't do it through your diet, always remember, guys, it's a fair mix between a good diet and supplementation as and when needed. Most people will say, forget your dietary needs, let's just take 3-4 scoops of protein powders. You have to learn that your basis comes from a good balanced diet, which has to be done not only till you lose the weight or get good skin or till you run the Olympics. The idea here is nutrition is on a day-to-day basis, hamesha ke liye. It is a lifestyle approach. लाइफस्टाइल में न्यूट्रिशन और खाना और आपकी थाली में से प्रोटीन डेली होना चाहिए. So that's an idea of a fair amount of protein in each of your 3 main meals.
Exactly, ma'am. Thank you so much. So, बहुत easy way में ये चीज है कि the way you said कि एक जो portion होना चाहिए, वो portion आप बिना calculate करके भी, you can add in, right? It is just not for athletes like us, like people who follow me, that I calculate everything, like all the macronutrients. But it is just for me. I know my body, and for the people who are just in for to get fit, to be active. They don't need to calculate things. They don't need to measure food. They don't need to measure food, So it is right. Like, तो बहुत
If
easy
you
way
do
में
a
अगर
rough approximation also, and you don't need to be a nutritionist to do that. There are
exactly
so many online calculators available for basic protein requirement. आपको nutritionist के पास जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. Basic requirements अगर आप input करेंगे, 1 कटोरी दाल, 1 अंडा, 1 पीस चिकन, आपको approximate amounts मिल जाएंगे. वो 2+2+2+2 करना है, आपकी body weight जितनी है उस हिसाब से, say for example anywhere between 0.8 to 1 to 1.2 depending on your age and other metabolic ailments. If you can get yourself a rough approximation कि ठीक है, मैं पूरे दिन में अगर 2 कटोरी दाल, 3-4 अंडे, egg whites, a few handful of nuts and seeds ले लूंगी तो मेरी protein requirement fulfill हो सकती है. You don't really, it's not rocket science is all I'm trying to say.
yeah exactly ma'am, thank you so much. So let's get to the next question. Yeah, I have someone has written, I have recently started with running along with cycling. Yeah, this is the best question because ये बहुत common question है. So I have recently started with running along with cycling. I do total 2 hours workout including running and cycling. I'm overweight as well. So which protein should I take?
Mihira, you're going to answer this? Do you want me to do this?
You go for it.
Okay, so which protein you require? Sorry, I didn't get the gentleman's name. The idea here is pehle evaluate your dietary palette, the dietary plate, I'm sorry. Depending on, in case you are not able to meet your protein requirements, see when you want to do fat loss and you are doing good amount of cardio, we don't require supplemental protein to support that, okay? So please require, if you are able to meet your dietary needs through your plate, you may not require it. But if you are unable to meet your dietary requirements because of certain reasons, you could use a protein supplement. But please understand that when you are overweight and you're focusing on cardio for fat loss, proteins are just the essential building blocks required for all the other essential cofactors that it exists for. It's not the prime aid for you to lose the fat. Protein supplements, when you are causing wear and tear of your muscles and you are building muscles, is a requirement for muscle growth. But when you're aiming at fat loss, dietary protein is required for a basic essential. So it's like saying, if I drive my car to Lonavala, I might require additional protein or I might require additional petrol. But मेरी day-to-day roundabouts के लिए my car requires the basic amount which is essential, जिसके बिना मेरी गाड़ी चलेगी नहीं. So to answer your question, my dear, you first have to evaluate how's your dietary protein intake. If that suffices your need, you may or may not need or a supplementation.
Perfect, ma'am. Yes, absolutely. This question is for Mihira. Does high protein diet help with improved performance?
Yes, absolutely. Again, depending on what sport you're in and what your aim is. So let me tell you something. So when I was a fresher and I started new, and I like, no, I'm going to give this person so and so protein. This is what I studied and things like that. But things don't work like that in the practical world. It's a very holistic approach. So for example, Ashish, if you train a few of your clients, I would sit with Ashish. Ashish would tell me that this is the training objective for this group of athletes. Then I would understand what is the load, and then based on that is where I would suggest how much protein is actually required. And these goals are divided into a lot of things. At the end of the day, you want to improve performance, but how does the performance come from? It comes from different fitness components. It comes from building strength, it comes from building endurance, it comes from building speed, and all of that are dependent upon increasing your muscle mass or having efficient muscle mass. So protein, if you consume good enough quantities along with a good quality carbohydrate source, will help you build that muscle mass efficiently, which if you include good training protocols will help you build strength, speed, power, endurance. All of that combined together is when you will perform well and succeed.
Absolutely
Well put.
correct.
To add to that, whoever asked this question, people think to a certain level that drinking protein powders or supplements is in some magical way going to make them stronger, improve their performance, or improve their weight loss. Please understand, protein is a very essential nutrient in our day-to-day life, but it's not magical. उसके साथ मेहनत भी करनी पड़ती है. खाली प्रोटीन पीने से मसल नहीं बढ़ता है, खाली प्रोटीन पीने से परफॉर्मेंस नहीं बढ़ती है. You require everything that she stated in terms of first giving the foundations, then the training, then the increase in endurance and performance, which is how proteins help. So proteins are great, but don't think of it as a shortcut to getting where you want.
Correct.
Exactly.
And exactly when you talk about just balancing protein, but because we're talking about protein as such in this seminar, but let's not forget that you also
Yes.
need to eat like healthy veggies and good quality carbs and hydrate well, because all of that together as a team will build your foundation to climb up the ladder.
Exactly. Because the first question which the clients ask me as well, protein लेना पड़ेगा क्या? सीधा, like protein लेना पड़ेगा क्या? So उनको लगता है या तो वो एक मैजिकल सप्लीमेंट है कि वो प्रोटीन, कुछ क्लाइंट्स का ऐसा होता है दैट प्रोटीन तो लेना ही पड़ेगा ना, क्योंकि उसी से अब मैं एक स्कूप खाऊंगा तो मेरी तो बॉडी बन जाएगी. और कुछ क्लाइंट्स ऐसे होते हैं या प्रोटीन नहीं, मुझे तो नेचुरली करना है. वो सोचते हैं प्रोटीन इज अ स्टेरॉइड और एनाबॉलिक्स और समथिंग लाइक दैट, कि कुछ तो कहीं और से बन रहा है वो. दे डोंट रियलाइज दैट इट इज मिल्क. ओके, so you are actually drinking milk only, but it is derived from milk, but वो different parts में होता है. Okay, so let's take last question. This is to Mihira. What is the main difference between whey concentrate, isolate, and hydrolyzed protein?
Okay, let me start from the basics. So you have dairy, which is your milk. When you make paneer out of that milk is where you get paneer, and what's left down is your whey. Now when that's processed, that's microfiltered in laboratories, what you'll end up getting from that paneer is a casein powder, and what you get from that whey water is your whey protein as a supplement. Now this whey protein supplement undergoes a lot of microfiltration, basically processes to give you the best quality of the product. And once these processes, this filtration takes place to purify this powder, at the end of the day, you get a few types of these wheys. So one of those types, for example, is whey concentrate. If you filter it further, you will get whey isolate. If you filter it even further, you will get whey hydrolyzed. Now, whey hydrolyzed is the most filtered, greatest quality whey protein available. It's extremely fast absorbed. It's got anywhere between 90 to 98% of that protein available to you. It's not got any carbs, it's not got any fat, it's got even peptides. It's quickly absorbed in your system. Then when you go up to whey isolate, it is also fast absorbed in terms of a protein. It may have 0 to 1 grams of carbohydrates or 0 to 1 gram of fat in there, because it's not as filtered as a whey hydrolyzed. When you go up a little bit, you have whey concentrate, which is again anywhere between 80 to 90% of protein of that whole net weight, and it would again have anywhere between 2 to 5 grams of carbs or 0 to 2 grams of fat, because it's again not as filtered as an isolate and as a hydrolyzed whey. And therefore the most fastest absorbed one is hydrolyzed, then is isolate, and then is your concentrate. But to be honest, to give a very practical opinion, it doesn't matter if you choose concentrate or isolate or hydrolyzed, unless you're working very closely on your macros, calories, you're counting it on an everyday basis, your goals are very intense, it's a different thing then. But otherwise, honestly, practically, it doesn't matter whichever you choose. Choose something that fits your budget, choose something that works for you, and choose something that you feel good in terms of your body, in terms of your lifestyles. So don't think too much when it comes to choosing one.
So true, so true. Thank you so much for this. So yeah, even personally, I recommend people like at least start with a whey. At least start with a whey. It's not about getting hydrolyzed, isolate या वो ज़्यादा digest करता है, हमें तो ये suit करता है. It is not about that. Like truly said, कि start कर लो. Like start with whey, and Fasten Up has both. Whey concentrate and isolate, and whey hydrolyze even. So people can choose, and I personally recommend people whey essential to start with. And also, like even I am using that. It has nice rich chocolate flavor. I use it in like baked oats, cookies. People who know me, I make reels about making air fryer cookie, a protein cookie. So it is very good and it is digestible also. So yeah, that was the last question. Yeah, Mihira, you were about to say.
That Abhishek.
Yeah.
So the advanced way, I think, is also the way which has a certified label of it being anti-dope. So for me, it becomes very important as a sports nutritionist that I recommend athletes products that have a seal that say that this product has been tested and it's according to the World Anti-Doping Agency guidelines. So as a nutritionist and a health professional, I just have more trust in brands like these which have done so many laboratory tests.
Absolutely. And सबसे best चीज ये है, like when you open up the lid and you have the cover of Fasten Up, like वो main चीज है, and it says a lot about a company, a lot about authenticity as well. Cool. So that was a very informative session, informative question. So let's move forward. Now it is actually time to know how much we have gained from the event, and it is very, very, very amazing. And for the same, Fasten Up has made a very easy peasy quiz for you all. The quiz is very simple, and 3 lucky winners will win a surprise hamper from Fasten Up. And if you are extra lucky, you can even win a Fasten Up jar. Okay, so that sounds amazing. The information is that click on the link that will be sent by the host after all the steps are mentioned, and enter your details. The details are very important so that Fasten Up आप लोग को contact कर सकेगा and give correct answer to all the questions. Okay, you have 5 minutes, so hurry up. The winners will be contacted via mail by Fasten Up. So you guys have 5 minutes maximum. So head up to the chat. The link is over there for all of you all. We can take like 1 or 2 more questions if you guys are up for it. Pooja ma'am.
Sure.
Okay, let's see. 1 or 2 questions. See, most of them are like सबने like common questions पूछे हैं, like कितना 2 scoops लेना चाहिए, 1 scoop लेना चाहिए. तो सबके दिमाग में सब सेम ही चल रहा है, ऐसा नहीं है कि सब लोग अलग अलग चीजें पूछते हैं. Okay, what is the best time to have whey protein?
So you go for it.
No, you go for it, my love.
Well, again, like we've been saying, now whey is a fast absorbing protein. So you would want to take it when you need it quickly. So if you're done with your training session and you want quick availability of amino acids in there, you want to put this fast absorbing protein source post your training session. So that is where your whey goes. So another very quick tip I'll give you is that in order, when you land up taking your whey protein with a fast absorbing carbohydrate, like a banana or a fresh fruit juice, for example, you spike insulin, right? And this insulin, which will actually help your whey protein to be absorbed a lot more better in your cell, and it will give you that muscle protein synthesis benefit as well. So the best time to take it is post-training. But at any point you're not able to manage your protein requirements throughout your day, you can try and put it into your milk at any point, or you can make a smoothie or shake out of it at any point, or you might want to go to Abhishek's handle and see what cookies he's making with these supplements. Yeah. You can try and incorporate that as well.
Perfectly said, ma'am. All right, so I guess unfortunately that was the last question. All the questions will be answered by Fasten Up team forward. So that was it. Thank you so much to our speakers, Pooja ma'am and Mihira ma'am, for taking us through such important topics and clearing the air in the aspects of protein, fitness, and nutrition. And a big thank you to our wonderful audience for their participation. and undivided attention, without whom this event wouldn't have been a success. And thank you to the Fasten Up team for making this event organized, and लोगों को knowledge मिलती है इन चीजों से. And yeah, that was it. So thank you everyone. After today's session, I hope you add more protein to your diet and get more active with Fasten Up. So thank you so much. Cheers and bye bye to everyone. Thank you.
Bye bye, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Thank you.